Welcome back to another Rat Poison tutorial. So we're ranking more Beatmania. Last week there was a little bit of confusion on what Beatmania is, what am I talking about, what is life. So imagine it's like 2001, you run your ass down to like a little arcade near your house, this game with like this fake piano and a turntable, and you press it, there's this shitty music that comes out of it, but you kind of like it, it has this charm, this character. So you play it. That's Beatmania. It's made by the company Beatmania, and it's a big part of my childhood. I love this game series, and I'm just talking about which ones are my favorite and which ones are not my favorite. In the background, we have gameplay by some guy named Deep Clear Eyes on YouTube, so I should probably say that now so I don't get sued. Let's get into it. I feel kind of bad trashing the practice stages, which are like made for the 5-year-old children who run into the arcade to learn how to play the game, but it's included in the official OST, which you pay money for, so I guess that makes me feel a little less bad. Another thing, which isn't even part of the song, but it's kind of interesting, is the guy recording this with a Bandicam logo at the top. I guess he didn't know how to download OBS. It's kind of sad. This is definitely better than the first practice stage, because that was less of a song. So next up in line, we have Overdoser Quadra's Driving Dub Mix. And so far in the Beatmania series, there have been more mixes of Overdoser than games. People just need to stop making these because they all turn out really boring and generic. This one's probably my least favorite so far, just being a super simple techno song with almost nothing happening. Like I said, the last two are boring, but Jesus, I had not heard this one yet. It's just like a single beat and a single bass line, and sometimes other basses come in for like 5 seconds. I don't know. This is not a good song. So next up we have Tokai by Ko-Ki DJ Mazinger, and on the last list I was only liking the songs by around track 8, but I'm really liking them by here. That just shows how much of an improvement this was to the last one. And this is some pretty solid J-rap. There's like the saxophone sample that goes in the background the whole time. There's like Japanese letters and some guy like shaking his hand at me. I think he's angry. But yeah, this dude can flow, and it's enjoyable, and it's like a real song. So I guess my points. The visuals are still ridiculous, but you know, I'm okay with Purple Man dancing now. He's growing on me a little bit. So this is Deep Clear Eyes by Quadra, and this is not how it's meant to be. There is a 6-minute long version, which is really, really good, but this is pretty much a castrated, bad, cut down version. But even in this state, it's still kind of listenable. There's no good melodies, but it has a bumpin' beat, and all you really need in a dancing game is a bumpin' beat to move those feet, young mister. I don't know what I'm doing. So next up we have Ska Go Go by the Baldheads, and every little bit of the song is just as generic and bad as most of the quote-unquote songs outside of the electronic genre that have been the first few games, where it seems like they have random people jump on the mic and try to make something that sounds coherent. There's just like a bunch of really canned like online instruments along with like some real ones, I think. It sounds like a fever dream. But then at the end, inexplicably, there's this insane, like, blast beat, like, guitar solo section, which is incredible. And I just have no idea where it came from, and it brings it up a lot in this list. Next up we have EOS Emotion 2ndMIX, which is a very slightly changed version of Emotion from the first game. And it's not like any worse than it was before. There's a lot better songs. The quality of the music improved so much between the first and second games. It's kind of ridiculous. So what used to be one of the best, like, of the top 3 songs is now pretty mediocre in this soundtrack. This is the part in the video where it starts getting really difficult to make decisions because I honestly love all of these songs. Like, there's nothing special about this, but it's a pure bop, and it's a real song, which is kind of mind-blowing at this point. This sounds like it's straight off a Tyler, the Creator album. Like, are you hearing this? This song is incredibly ahead of its time. It sounds like I could just pull up onto a Lo-Fi Beats channel and hear this exact thing. It sounds really good, and all the sampling is great. This would probably be a bit higher if it wasn't for this awful line where this guy says, "You're just like my mom and dad. When I'm happy, you make me sad." It's amazing.
You just like my mom and dad. When I'm happy, you make me sad.
final 4 was a very tough choice for me, but I finally decided placing this one last, mostly just because I like it the least out of the rest of them. It doesn't have quite as much charm as the others, but it's still insane to see such a poor song being taken into such a really nice remix by Knight. Very impressive. So next up we have Salamander Beat Crush Mix, which is absolute bop as well. It's pretty similar to the last song, but kind of barely edged it out by having deep house bass, which is a really nice addition and rare in this era. Yeah, this is just generally well put together, and there's an especially cool fill, kind of break thing at the end, I'll play. But yeah, overall I do really like everything here. This is miraculous for the time it's released. I can certainly imagine this being, you know, like a mid-2000s Beatmania 2ndMIX game. Everything here is really nice, and hearing ambient that's this well thought out in a game this old is really cool. I wish that some parts were better executed, but you know, I can't really ask for more because what we have already is fantastic. You know, if you're saying fucking pretentious song with the name Beginning of Life as an ambient drum and bass kind of thing, what could beat this? Well, you're about to see what could beat this. Yes, you are reading this correctly. The shitty fucking reggae song from the first game got a remix that somehow beat all these amazing songs. Now, this sounds insane, I know, I didn't believe it either, but somehow this has some of the most compelling and interesting segments of any song here. And the first thing that I love is this piano segment where it's like completely made out of like augmented chords that are like jumping in this really weird pattern that is just so compelling, and it's like been stuck in my head for like a week because I can't stop just thinking about how interesting it sounds. In this next part, I'm not even sure if it's good or if I'm just insane, but this is one of my favorite things I've heard in the games yet. I have a feeling that is crazy.